What nobody expected before the season began could actually happen, and it could happen sooner than anyone imagined this Saturday against Wisconsin, because this is the moment where Alabama must define its path and decide once and for all which direction the team will take. But among the options that lie ahead, there is one that should never be taken, and yet it will be standing there waiting, tempting, dangerous. And that is what makes this clash so critical. Will Alabama walk down the forbidden path that could undo everything that has been built so far? Or will they stay firmly on track through the season, proving their worth on the field, stacking victories, and maybe even writing history? Welcome to Roll Tide Press, where today we dive deep into the crossroads Alabama faces so early in the season and what it must do to escape the traps ahead. And before we go further, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and drop your comment because I want to know what you think about this decisive moment. Now, before the season started, optimism was flooding everything. There was new leadership on the sidelines, a new system being implemented, and young players stepping into key roles that made this rebuild feel like one that could pay off right away. But then came the season opener, and it was nothing short of a cold shower. Alabama fell to Florida State 31-7, and that defeat crushed confidence instantly. Doubts that had been lingering in the background turned into near certainties. Maybe this project wasn't moving at all. Maybe it was stuck before it even began. Some fans wondered loudly if drastic changes were needed immediately. And then came the bounce back, a 73-0 demolition of Louisiana Monroe. Sure, it wasn't against an elite opponent, but it lit up something familiar, that question that always hovers. Wait, is Bama back? Because the offense rolled, the defense suffocated the opposition, and young names like freshman receiver Latier Brooks exploded onto the national spotlight. But still, the question remained, was it real momentum or just smoke and mirrors? Coach Kalen DeBoer addressed it after the blowout, saying, "It sucks to learn lessons, but these guys did it. Now they got to do it again." The resiliency is probably the thing I'll take from them, because their response was not timid in any way. It was with power, with aggression, and with pride. And that is DeBoer trying to build a culture, shaping a mindset that Alabama can't just lean on its brand name anymore. It has to prove itself on the field play after play. And that's exactly why Wisconsin matters so much. This is not just another game on the schedule. It is a game that carries the weight to define the tone for the entire season. Think about it. If Alabama beats Wisconsin convincingly with an efficient offense, a physical defense, and total control, then everything inside the locker room shifts. The players start believing again. Confidence rises to another level, and the build-up to facing Georgia takes on a completely different energy. Now picture the fan base. After the heartbreak of Week 1 and the adrenaline of that 73-0 victory, a dominant win against Wisconsin would balance the emotions and show proof that this team is truly serious. But if Alabama loses that game, then they walk directly into what I call the forbidden path. And a loss wouldn't just be another record in the standings. It would expose issues of willpower, effort, and coaching strategy. It would signal that DeBoer hasn't found the winning formula yet. It would feel as if the Tide, at least for now, is still lost, relying on the weight of its jersey rather than actual dominance. And that's why I say Saturday is the real crossroads, because one path leads to redemption, momentum, and swagger, and the other, the forbidden path, leads to doubt, frustration, and uncomfortable questions about the future. Now here's my take. Alabama will deliver the answer fans have been waiting for. I expect to see a more organized team, a defense flying around the field, and an offense that refuses to play timid. Ty Simpson should look sharper under center. Brooks has every tool to keep shining, and the coaching staff will prove that they can make adjustments when it matters. I believe this game will be the statement game, the one that says, the champ is back. And from that point, every opponent will have to fight like crazy to take Bama down. But as always, I want your opinion. Do you think DeBoer's work is still far behind where it should be? Or do you believe that the Louisiana Monroe blowout was the first real sign that this team can evolve fast and go toe-to-toe with anyone? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. Because no matter what happens, the most complete Alabama coverage is right here on Roll Tide Press. Now, as for the players, they've already made their voices clear. They said it was great to fight back after week 1 when backs were against the wall, and that they just need to keep going 1-0 every week, showing what they can do, stacking wins one after another. They admitted they took it upon themselves. It's their job to go out there, play fast, play physical, and with effort, something they didn't do against Florida State. They had to correct it, and they believe last week they corrected it. But they also know the work doesn't stop. They have to keep stacking week after week with great intensity and practice from Tuesday through Thursday, building up to game day. And Coach DeBoer always reminds them that preparation never stops. Intensity has to be sustained throughout the game. Week 1 was in Alabama. They knew it. It wasn't the standard. And since then, the focus has been fighting back to uphold the standard every single day. One player said he had to take it personally, that the coaches saw it, he saw it, and he knew effort wasn't there. So he corrected it, and now he just keeps stacking, turning criticism into fuel for the fire. Phones blowing up with noise, but using it as gasoline to push harder. Because as they say, every opponent treats Alabama like their national championship, which means Bama has to bring its A game every single time. When asked about Wisconsin, the answer was clear. They are a great football team. They're going to play physical, control the ball on offense, and come down to prove their intensity, which means Alabama must match it and play better. The new coordinators make the scheme look different. Some film from Kansas was broken down along with Wisconsin's first games of the year to prepare. It presents challenges, but the staff believes they know who to expect out there. At the end of the day, the defense says the goal is to shut them out, plain and simple. But to do that, Alabama must stop the run better. While the pass defense has been solid, the run defense must improve. They need to stop the power read, the gap schemes, the zone game, the zone read, everything. And that starts with the defensive line all the way up to the safeties. And with Wisconsin using moving pieces, shifting looks, smoke and mirrors, Alabama's focus must be on playing gap-sound football, doing their job, not trying to do someone else's, and letting the plays come. Because only then can the Tide prove that Week 1 was a misstep and the true standard is still alive.